The cafeteria noise died the second Victoria's voice cracked across the room like a whip. I stood there with my tray still in my hands. The smell of burnt toast and cheap coffee suddenly choking me. It was just a bet. Riley. Her dark eyes. The ones that had looked at me like I was the only person alive for the last 3 weeks. We're flat now. God.
The way my stomach dropped.
I could hear my own heartbeat louder than the whispers starting up around us. 3 weeks earlier, the leaves in the Pacific Northwest campus were just starting to turn gold. And I was the quiet transfer student who kept her headphones on and her eyes down. I'd come here to disappear after a bad breakup back home. To figure out who I was without anyone watching. Then Victoria happened. She was everything the campus whispered about: tall, athletic, the kind of smile that made strangers offer her their notes. I was shelving books in the library basement when she accidentally knocked over my entire cart. Shit.
Sorry.
That low. Like cashmere. Her fingers brushed mine while we picked up the scattered paperbacks. And I swear the air felt thinner. You're Riley,
right?
The new girl from the art program. I nodded. Damp soccer jersey clung to her shoulders. Yeah.
And you're Victoria.
She grinned like I'd handed her a trophy. Guilty. Coffee.
My treat for the mess.
I should have said no. Instead, I said yes.
And that was the first
micro crack in my armor. The next week she kept showing up.
Barista messed up and gave me 2 of
In the
these.
quad with 2 iced lattes.
Oh, wow, really? Thanks,
Claiming the
that's
barista
great.
messed up her order. On the path to my dorm after practice.
Mind if I join you? I
Hair
smell
still
like
wet.
grass and vanilla right now.
Smelling like grass and vanilla body spray. Every time she laughed at something I said, really laughed, I felt this dangerous little flutter in my chest. But doubt followed right behind it.
Why me?
Why me?
The girl who
Hoodies
wore
and never went to
oversized
parties.
hoodies and never went to parties? I'm glad
One
we took
evening
the
we
long
ended
way.
up walking the long
colors
way
are
around the
incredible
lake
today.
after the
Yeah, it's like a
library
painting.
closed.
I almost
The
know
water
tryouts
lapped
were
softly
tough,
against
but
the rocks.
You handled the conditioning test better than
And the
anyone
sky was
expected.
that bruised purple
Thanks,
that
I
only
appreciate
happens in
that.
October. Victoria bumped my shoulder on purpose. You're quiet tonight,
You're quiet
she
tonight.
said. Voice softer than usual. I shrugged. Old.
Just thinking how weird this is.
Just thinking how weird this is.
You and me.
You and me. She stopped walking.
Weird good?
The wind rustled the leaves overhead like a secret.
Weird good or weird bad?
Weird good or weird bad? I looked up at her.
Heart
Sure she
hammering
could hear
so
it.
loud I was sure she could hear it.
I don't trust anyone, I whispered.
I don't trust anyone.
The words slipped
The
out
words
before I
slipped
could stop
out
them.
before I could stop them. Raw
And honest in the dark. Victoria's face changed. Something tender and almost sad crossed it. She reached out. Slow and tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear. Her fingertips lingered against my skin. Warm
Maybe
against
you
the
should
chill.
start with me.
Maybe you should start with me. That night I lay in bed replaying the moment until my cheeks hurt from smiling. The touches got bolder after that. A hand on the small of my back guiding me through a crowded hallway. Her arms slung around my shoulders while we studied in the common room. Her thigh pressed against mine under the table. Every brush sent sparks up my spine. And I started letting myself believe maybe. Just maybe.
This was real.
One Friday she dragged me to a soccer game. The stadium lights buzzed overhead. The crowd roared every time she touched the ball. When she scored the winning goal, she sprinted straight to the sidelines, grabbed my face with both hands still sweaty from the game, and kissed me right there in front of everyone. Her lips tasted like salt and victory and something that felt like home. The crowd cheered louder. But all I heard was the soft sound she made in the back of her throat when I kissed her back. Later, she pulled me close again. Slower this time. The scent of her shampoo mixed with the faint chlorine from the showers. "Stay with me tonight," she murmured against my neck. I did. We didn't even do much, just tangled together on her tiny dorm bed. Her heart beat steady under my cheek, her fingers tracing lazy circles on my arm until I fell asleep feeling safer than I had in years. The next 2 weeks blurred into something dangerously sweet. Late-night talks where she told me about growing up with 4 brothers and how she always had to be the toughest. I told her about the girl back home who left me shattered and how I came here to rebuild myself. She listened like my words mattered more than any trophy. I was falling. Hard. Then came the party. Someone's off-campus house. Bass thumping through the walls. Red Solo cups everywhere. I was looking for Victoria when I overheard it, her teammates laughing in the kitchen.
She left with him.
Voices loud with beer. Dude.
You actually pulled it off.
The bet was 30 days and you made the quiet girl fall in love in 23. Pay up.
Vic.
My blood turned to ice. I pushed through the door just as Victoria stepped in from the hallway. Face pale. Her eyes locked on mine. For one horrible second I saw the truth flash across her features. Riley, it was just a bet.
Just a bet, right?
Right? My voice didn't even sound like mine.
Tell them.
Tell them.
Tell me.
Tell me. The room went quiet except for the music still pounding somewhere far away.
Sorry,
Victoria's
Vic,
friends scattered like they suddenly remembered they had somewhere else to be.
Did they seem a little too...
She reached for me, but I stepped back. The edge of the counter digging into my spine. Riley.
It started that way, okay?
Okay.
Some stupid challenge after
Practice.
practice.
But it stopped being a bet the second I really knew you. I swear. I laughed.
You swear?
You swear.
God, I don't even
God.
know what to believe
Anymore. I left before she could say anything else. The rain had started, cold and relentless, soaking through my jacket as I walked across campus with no destination. Every step felt like I was dragging my heart behind me. I don't know how long I wandered before I ended up on the covered bridge near the arts building. The rain drummed on the roof like angry fingers. I was shivering. My face.
Mascara probably
When I heard
down my
footsteps.
face. When I heard footsteps.
Charlotte. Victoria's biggest rival, co-captain of the debate team, sharp green eyes. Blonde hair always pulled back like she was ready for war. We'd never spoken more than 2 words. But she'd watched every interaction between Victoria and me with this unreadable expression. Now she stood there holding out a dry hoodie like it was the most natural thing in the world. "You look like you could use this," she said quietly. No pity. I took it. Laundry and something faintly citrus. I pulled it over my wet clothes. The warmth sinking in slow.
sinking in.
We sat on the bench in silence for a long time. Just the rain and the distant hum of campus life. Then Charlotte spoke.
But the strategy we discussed
Voice
accounts
low
for
and
these
steady.
variables. We simply need
I
to
heard what happened.
The whole campus is buzzing.
The whole campus is buzzing.
Victoria's an idiot.
Victoria's an idiot. I let out a shaky breath that fogged in the cold air.
She said it was just a
She
bet.
said it was just a bet. Charlotte turned to face me fully. Her eyes were intense, but not in the competitive way I'd seen during public forums. This was different,
I've been
gentle,
watching you too.
almost careful. I've been watching you too. At first I thought she was just playing her usual games. But the way she looked at you lately, I don't know. Maybe it got real for her. Doesn't excuse starting it as a bet. Though. I stared at my hands.
Why are you even here?
Why are you even here? She shrugged.
Because I've been wanting to talk to you for
Because I've been wanting to talk to you for weeks. Not as Victoria's rival.
As me.
As me.
As me.
The next few days were a whirlwind of confusion. Victoria texted
Riley, I'm
non-stop,
so sorry.
apologies,
I didn't mean for
explanations,
any of this to happen. Please
voice
just
notes
talk
where
to
her
me,
voice
Riley.
cracked
I
on my
miss
name.
you.
I couldn't bring myself to listen to all of them. The hurt was still too loud. Charlotte. She left a coffee outside my dorm with a note that just said, "No strings. Just thought you'd like the good kind." She walked with me to class when the rain wouldn't stop, sharing her umbrella so our shoulders brushed. Little things. No grand gestures. Just steady presence. One afternoon we ended up in the empty art studio where I had a photography project spread out. The smell of developer chemicals hung in the air. Soft red light glowing from the darkroom. Charlotte studied the prints I'd pinned up, mostly candid shots of people who didn't know they were being watched. You see people, she said softly.
Not just what they show.
Not just what they show.
Yeah.
I swallowed hard. Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I didn't.
Sometimes I wish I didn't. She stepped closer. The space between us felt charged, like the air before a storm. Her hand found mine. Tentative at first, then sure. The warmth of her palm grounded me in a way Victoria's electric touches never had. Riley, she murmured.
I'm not going to pretend
I didn't notice you before all this mess. I saw how you carried yourself, like you were protecting something precious. I like that about you. A lot. My breath caught. Charlotte, I'm asking you out. For real. Dinner.
Charlotte.
No
I'm asking
bets.
you out. For real.
Just two people figuring shit out.
Quiet.
The
No
words
bets,
hung there.
No games, just
Heavy
two
and
people
honest.
Figuring shit out.
Part of me wanted to run.
The other part.
The other part, the part that had been starved for someone who saw me, leaned in. I didn't kiss her that day. But I said yes. Victoria found out. Of course. The confrontation happened 2 nights later in the same quad where everything had started unraveling. Leaves crunched under our shoes, the air sharp with coming winter.
They're beautiful.
She looked wrecked, hair
I'm just too
messy,
tired to
eyes red
appreciate
like
them
she
right
hadn't
now.
slept. You're really doing
Really
this?
doing
She
this?
asked. Voice
her?
raw. With her. I met her gaze. Chest aching. You started it as a bet.
Victoria.
Victoria.
You made me feel like I finally mattered
and then ripped it away. Charlotte didn't have to prove anything.
She just showed up.
She just showed up. Victoria stepped closer. The scent of her familiar vanilla hitting me like a memory. It stopped being a bet the first time you laughed at my stupid jokes. The first time you fell asleep on my chest. I was scared to admit it. Because admitting it meant I lost control. And I hate losing. I let out a long, shaky sigh. The kind that comes from somewhere deep. I know.
But I can't
My heart
keep
and my
choosing between
sanity.
my heart and my sanity.
Not right now.
Not right now.
The silence stretched, filled only by the distant sound of a car passing and wind in the trees. Charlotte waited for me at the edge of the quad, giving us space but not hiding.
That sounds perfect, actually.
When I walked toward her, Victoria didn't stop me. She just stood there,
hands
hands in her pockets,
looking smaller
than I'd ever seen her. The first date with Charlotte was simple: Thai food in a tiny booth.
It really does.
Fairy lights strung overhead.
My co-captain duties
Rain tapping the windows.
So
She asked about my photography.
Oh, mostly the light.
Really
I
listened.
try to capture the way the light hits.
When I talked about how capturing a single honest moment felt like holding truth in my hands. Her laugh was quieter than Victoria's,
I know, right?
but it settled warm in my stomach.
Cute when you laugh.
We walked back to campus under
Me
one
too.
umbrella again,
It's nice walking like
shoulders touching. At my dorm door she paused, green eyes searching mine. I'm not asking you to forget her, she said.
I'm just asking you to let me be here while you
I'm just
figure out what
asking you to let me
want.
be here while you figure out what you want. I kissed her then. Soft. Tasting the faint spice from dinner on her lips. It didn't erase the hurt, but it felt like the start of something steady. Something chosen. Weeks passed. Victoria and I didn't speak much, but we nodded in the halls, civil, careful. The campus gossip died down eventually.
I think the colors capture the feeling
Charlotte
we
and I
talked
took
about.
things slow,
I love the texture.
building
It
something
feels
real in the
very
quiet
real.
moments. Shared playlists, late-night study sessions where her foot would hook around my ankle under the table. Mornings where she'd bring me breakfast and we'd watch the fog lift off the mountains. Sometimes I still caught myself thinking about Victoria's laugh. The way she'd looked at me like I was a prize worth winning. The ache was still there. Quieter now. One rainy evening Charlotte found me in the art studio again, staring at an old print of Victoria I'd taken before everything blew up. She didn't get jealous. She just wrapped her arms around me from behind and rested her chin on my shoulder. You okay? She whispered.
I will be.
I leaned back into her, letting the steady beat of her heart calm the storm inside me. I will be. Eventually. Life isn't a movie.
There's
no perfect ending where everyone forgives and rides off into the sunset. Victoria still competes like her life depends on it. Charlotte and I are figuring out what we are, something warm and growing. But fragile too. And me.
I'm learning to trust again.
One careful step at a time. The bet broke something in me. But it also showed me I'm worth more than someone else's game. I don't know what tomorrow looks like. Maybe Victoria and I will find a way to be friends someday. Maybe Charlotte and I will build something lasting. Or maybe I'll walk this path alone for a while longer. Camera in hand. Capturing the honest moments as they come. Either way,
I'm still here.
still breathing. Still choosing myself in the quiet spaces between heartbeats. And that feels like the real victory.